So the government. They do a lot of things out there that they would rather us preppers not be clued in on. Want to know the things they do? Well, you're in the right spot. Today, we're lifting the lid on 10 things the government doesn't want us preppers to know. We've got the scoop on everything from those sneaky executive orders that could snag your stockpiles in emergencies, to the not-so-cozy relationship between Uncle Sam and Silicon Valley, how that might just impact us preppers. And a whole lot more. We're revealing the secrets and maybe, just maybe, get one step ahead in our game of preparedness. Number 10. Gun ban. Guns aren't just about sport or tradition. They're critical tools for hunting and ensuring the safety of our homes and families. When new laws proposed restrictions on gun ownership, it strikes at the heart of our preparedness philosophy. In countries around the globe, the debate over gun control is highly polarized. In the majority of countries, guns are banned. There are only a few countries that allow civilians to own guns. America is one of them. For us preppers in the U.S., the issue is deeply practical. Access to firearms is a cornerstone of self-reliance, enabling us to hunt for food and defend against threats. Any legislation that could limit our rights under the Second Amendment is a huge concern, as it could hinder our preparedness strategies and our sense of security. Number 9. Control over food and agricultural practices. In our quest for self-sufficiency and resilience, many of us in the prepping community place a high value on the ability to grow our own food or source it locally. This drive towards food independence, however, often finds itself at odds with government controls and regulations on food production. Regulations surrounding the use of genetically modified organisms or GMOs, pesticides, and specific farming practices can feel like barriers to achieving our goals. For us, the heart of the matter lies in the desire to maintain control over what we eat and how it's produced. We see the ability to grow our own food not just as a hobby, but as a critical component of our preparedness strategy. These regulations, while intended to ensure food safety and environmental protection, can sometimes limit our ability to farm in traditional or organic ways, use heirloom seeds, or avoid chemicals we deem unnecessary or harmful. So, what should we do about this? We should engage in local food policy discussions, support advocacy groups that champion food sovereignty, and stay informed about changes in agriculture-related legislation that become key steps in navigating these challenges. Number 8. Restrictions on ownership of land or off-grid living. Navigating the path to off-grid living and self-reliance, we often bump into zoning laws and property use regulations that feel like they're from another era. These rules can significantly limit our ability to use land in ways that align with our prepping and self-sufficiency ideals. Whether it's setting up a rainwater collection system, building a tiny home, or farming in a residential area, the red tape is everywhere. For many of us, these restrictions represent more than just bureaucratic hurdles. They're fundamental challenges to our ability to live independently, prepare for uncertainties, and reduce our footprint on this planet. In some areas, the dream of off-grid living clashes with ordinances that require homes to be connected to public utilities, or land to be used in ways that don't match our vision of sustainability and resilience. As these government policies shape the landscape of what's possible, it becomes crucial for our community to engage with local planning and zoning boards, advocate for more flexible regulations, and educate others about the benefits of self-reliant lifestyles. Number 7. Legislation. Affecting self-sufficiency practices. Laws and regulations around fundamental practices like collecting rainwater, growing our own food, or generating off-grid electricity have started to tighten. It's these changes in the legal framework that are casting a shadow over our pursuit of independence and self-reliance. For us, the ability to harness natural resources directly, cultivate our own sustenance, and generate energy independently isn't just about being prepared. It's about embracing a lifestyle that values sustainability and autonomy. However, when new laws come into play, restricting these activities, it feels like indirect attempts to steer or limit how we live our prepper lifestyles. These legal obstacles aren't just minor inconveniences. They represent significant challenges to the core principles many of us hold dear. The impact of these regulations can vary widely, from merely complicating our efforts to outright hindering our ability to live independently from the grid or the conventional food supply chain. As these legislative landscapes evolve, it's crucial for us to stay informed and engaged. Understanding the nuances of these laws, advocating for our rights to self-sufficiency, and adapting our practices within the bounds of the law become essential parts of our journey. Number 6. Increased surveillance and privacy concerns. Across the globe, governments are ramping up their surveillance capabilities, a trend that hits close to home for us in the prepping community. This increase in monitoring, especially in today's highly digital world, is a threat to our personal freedom and autonomy. It's not just about the government keeping tabs for security purposes. It's about the delicate balance between ensuring public safety and encroaching on individual privacy. We all value self-reliance and discretion, and the expansion of such surveillance feels like a direct challenge. Our commitment to preparing for any scenario often involves utilizing digital platforms for communication, gathering information, and acquiring supplies. With the surveillance net widening, our innocent activities could be misinterpreted, potentially putting us under undue suspicion. This concern extends beyond just our circles. It's part of a larger conversation about privacy rights in the face of increasing security measures. Finding the right balance is crucial. It's a conversation that requires constant vigilance and advocacy to ensure that the pursuit of security doesn't trample over our rights to privacy. As we move forward, staying informed and actively participating in discussions about surveillance and privacy policies becomes imperative. It's about protecting our way of life while understanding the complexities of modern security needs. Number 5. Government collaborating with big tech. In the digital age, the intersection between government interests and big tech capabilities is becoming a huge concern. One particular area of contention lies in how this collaboration might impact us preppers. The crux of the issue revolves around the potential for monitoring and influencing our activities online. As governments seek to bolster national security, the expansive data collection and analytical powers of major tech companies become a resource that can be tapped into. This collaboration, while beneficial for addressing some threats, raises questions about privacy and the freedom to pursue certain lifestyles unmonitored. We often utilize online platforms to exchange information, buy supplies, and connect with like-minded communities. The fact that our activities are being closely watched is unsettling. Even worse, as technology continues to evolve, so too will the nature of this collaboration and the conversations around its implications for all individuals, including us in the prepping community. Number 4. DHS surveillance. The surveillance being done by the DHS casts a wide net, potentially encompassing a broad spectrum of individuals, from those with explicit intentions to harm to folks like us who simply have an interest in prepping. The shift towards scrutinizing such a diverse range of activities and interests raises some eyebrows, especially within the prepping community. By nature, we preppers prioritize readiness and self-sufficiency, often in response to potential natural disasters or societal disruptions. However, this same preparedness could, in some instances, be misinterpreted by broad surveillance directives aimed at identifying threats. This approach by DHS ignites a conversation about the balance between national security and individual freedoms. The idea that someone's efforts to ensure their family's safety and independence could somehow overlap with the criteria for surveillance is a troubling prospect. Number 3. Confiscation of our stockpiles. Very few people know that the government has the ability to confiscate personal resources during national emergencies. Picture this. You've been diligently stocking up, prepping your pantry, and ensuring your family's resilience against unexpected events. Then, an executive order comes into play, designed with the intent to mobilize resources efficiently during times of national crisis. Sounds reasonable on the surface, right? But here's the kicker. This includes the potential for the government to take control of personal food supplies and other resources. It's a concept that sits uncomfortably with many, especially those of us who invest time, resources, and energy into preparing for the just-in-case scenarios. The thought of having your carefully amassed supplies requisitioned just when they're most needed can feel like a direct contradiction to the principles of self-reliance and personal sovereignty. While the intention behind such measures is to ensure the well-being of the nation as a whole during extreme circumstances, it poses significant questions about individual rights and the balance between collective need and personal preparedness. It's a complex issue that underscores the importance of understanding the laws and regulations that could impact our efforts to prepare and protect our families. Number 2. USDA's similar militarization. Switching gears to the USDA, this behemoth of the U.S. government has a broad mission, ensuring our food safety by nurturing rural development and conservation efforts. Sounds like a noble quest, right? But here's a curveball. Amidst all these objectives, the USDA has geared up in a way you might not expect. Yeah, we're talking about firearms, specifically .50 caliber submachine guns. You might scratch your head, wondering where firearms fit into the USDA's grand vision. Well, it turns out they've got the legal thumbs up to carry these high-powered tools. Thanks to legislative moves dating back to 1981 and a significant push in 2002, USDA's criminal investigators, along with folks from various other federal entities, have been authorized to arm themselves. The choice of weapon? A .50 caliber SMG that's not just any gun. It's detailed with specs like an ambidextrous safety, semi, and burst fire modes, night sights, and a setup ready for all the tactical add-ons you can think of. Plus, they demanded it be lightweight, have a sizable mag, and even an oversized trigger guard for those chilly days in the field. Makes you raise your eyebrows, huh? Like, what the hell is the USDA preparing for with such specific tactical firearm requirements? Number 1. IRS mass hiring and militarization. The government is on a hiring spree, aiming to bring on board 87,000 IRS agents. Now, why does this matter to folks like us, you ask? Well, it's all about the details. These aren't just any agents. We're talking about increased scrutiny on the way we handle our money, especially with modern twists like cryptocurrency and online transactions. Imagine having every digital penny you send or receive under a microscope. Sounds fun, right? But it doesn't stop there. Alongside their financial sleuthing skills, it turns out these agents are coming equipped, and not just with calculators and tax codes. Yes, you heard that right. They're armed with Glock 23, Smith & Wesson M&P 40, and M&P 15T, and H&K 416. We can make a video covering this topic. Let us know if you're interested. So, the idea might sound a bit over the top, but it's a real part of the conversation now. This move signals a shift towards tighter control and oversight, potentially reshaping the landscape for individual tax obligations and how we navigate our financial privacy. For preppers and privacy-minded individuals, this development rings a few alarm bells. It's not just about paying your taxes, it's the broader implications of what this level of scrutiny and enforcement means for personal freedom and autonomy in managing our resources. As we dive deeper into an era of digital currencies and online everything, the thought of having an armed taxman looking over our shoulders adds a whole new layer to the conversation on privacy and financial independence.